Okay, let's call the meeting to order then. We're all set. Do we have any public speakers here? Anybody from the public would like to speak? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Next item is the approval of the minutes of April 5th. Can I have a motion to accept April 5th?
So moved.
So moved. A second?
Second.
Okay, any additions or corrections? All those in favor of the minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that looks like that has been approved. Okay, moving on to Jackie Bakos. Jackie, what would you like to tell us?
Hi, Mr. Chairman. My only update would be, please remember to vote on the budget referendum tomorrow at the library,
Right. From what time to what time?
6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Very good. Anybody have any questions to Jackie Bakos, Board of Selectmen? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. And you're welcome to talk anytime you wish to speak up here. Okay, the Simsbury High roof replacement. Al Jukunski is here. Al?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Dick. In the past month, we're continuing reviewing shop drawings and submittals. By the way, the system that they're proposing is Manville, which was one of the three systems that we approved. There's only one submittal left for them to submit, and I'm sure it's going to be okay. We rejected their initial submittal because the warranty was not as specified. So that should be done. I have not seen any requisitions for payment from them, even though they have ordered materials and their bonds are in. But I would expect for your next meeting, we will see a first requisition for payment. The schedule of values was approved. We went back and forth a little bit, but we did approve that. I insisted that they break out some of the items that are ineligible for reimbursement, like masonry and painting and caulking, because those items are going to be audited by the state. And we want to make sure we have correct values for those components. On Tuesday, April 20th, we had a coordination and scheduling meeting that was organized by Carol Mitchell. Carol, by the way, is putting in a lot of time on this project, making sure that the project does not conflict with some of the limited summer school programs that are at the school. Carol was in attendance, Jason, Andy O'Brien, Neil Sullivan, Jerry Casella from Greenwood, and myself. We know that the project is going to start from the east end of the building, which is the classroom cafeteria side, and move towards the front of the building, which is the west side. Two staging and material drop-off areas were designated, one on the very east side, farthest away from the building, and then a second one was designated on the west side, closer to the street. And that's about it. So things are moving along. We're hoping that they're going to start there the minute school gets out, which I believe is June 14th, if I'm not mistaken. That date is correct.
Jason?
Yes,
Jason?
correct.
June 14th. Okay. Jason or Andrew, you have any comments to make of the Al's report?
No, I think it's a very complete report, and the materials of, stocking those on the east side went very smoothly, and we're looking forward to receiving the second drop-off of materials starting June 9th on the west side.
Okay. Anything else, Al?
Now, let me just chime in a little bit on the reason why the materials are being delivered as early as they are. It turns out to be that COVID is starting to catch up to the roofing industry. And I'm glad we went out to bid as early as we did, because there apparently is a shortage now of material, especially fasteners, adhesives. We are not going to have that problem. I'm being told by Greenwood that our materials are all in stock and they will be delivered. But that was one of the reasons why they wanted to get that on site as soon as possible, to make sure we have that material when the project starts up.
Thank God.
And once the job starts, we're going to start our weekly job meetings on a regular basis. And obviously, I'll be emailing those reports to the entire group.
Okay. Any questions to Al? Any other comments? Hearing none, Al, you're excused.
Thank you. I'm going to go
We
back.
have an invoice for him.
Pardon me?
We have an invoice from you.
You guys will
We'll
approve
get
it, I'm
that
sure.
to the end of the meeting. There's one here, yes. We cover the invoices at the end, as we always do.
Dick, these meetings are so fun. I don't really care about the invoice.
Yeah, we got it. Take care of it.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
moving on.
Over and out.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, moving on to Henry James. Yeah, where'd he go? Steve, you want
Hello.
to talk first, Or Castle Booze. Where's Castle Booze? She here?
Sure. I am here, but I'm on the phone tonight instead of on
Okay.
video. Okay. So we do have a brief report from Castle Booze. We reviewed 4 COPs. A couple of them are just reconciliation ones. So we recommend the COPs that Downs included in the package. We recommend those for approval. And we also reviewed the application for payment and recommend that for approval. We've been reviewing closeout documents that Downs has provided. Those last submittals, we're just finalizing those. And we did have a recent site visit, and we included a report in your packet, just noting the punch list items that we checked and things like that. Nothing really of concern, just still finishing things up, tidying the last bits.
Okay.
That's it.
Any questions of Jennifer? Jason? Andrew? No? We're fine? Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Colliers, we have a report from Colliers.
Yes, sir. The only thing that I'd add to what Jennifer said, and Steve and his team are addressing, part of it is the resolution of the exterior dust collector system. There's been some issues with that, and Steve's worked diligently with his group to get the parts, and the contractor is coming back to correct the item now. So that's one item that is open. And then the other one is just the resolution of the balancing in the D-wing. If you remember, there's an exhaust fan that Andrew and Jason are working on replacing. And then
Right.
there'd be some balancing that has to be done there. So that would be the
Okay.
only thing I'd add on from what Jennifer said.
Okay. Any questions to Colliers? Hearing none, let's move on. Okay, Steve, I guess you're on at this point.
Good evening, everyone. So you should have our report for May that was in the packet. The
Yep.
usual financial summary is on the front page there. You'll see in the pending approximate change order request, the minus 414. Much of that is in some of the COPs tonight. And I've got a couple more reconciliations to complete to finalize the allowance givebacks from the trades. And then but my goal is for that and the remaining contingency to be given back between now and the next meeting. So at the next meeting, we can close out the project, financially with a final invoice and final change order and
Okay.
COPs to give back those credits that are coming. So
All right,
any questions on that section?
not there. Move forward to B.
Were completed, so that rerouting of the roof drain work took place over spring break. We have one painting item on the exterior facade at the patch where the pipe used to come out to get completed, but all that work is done. And it came in much less than we talked about last time, which we'll get into in the COPs. Work in progress. We have a few punch list items left. The team walked through the building, 10 days, 2 weeks ago now, after the landscaping work and some other punch list items were taken care of. So we have a few items left to take care of, and we don't have any new work coming up, as that drain work was the last of the new work for the project.
Work to start?
Yeah, no work to start.
Okay. Okay, move on to your change orders.
COP 311, this is the masonry bid package reconciliation. So we were waiting for that one, as some of the work for that drain pipe rerouting was masonry work. So now that that's done, there's a credit to the owner, $68,992.56.
So that's a credit back to us. That's coming back to us.
That's correct.
Okay. Everyone understand that? Any questions of that? Okay, moving on.
COP 328, you approved this not to exceed last time
Right,
for the 24,328 after the work was complete. The rerouting and finding a spot in the existing system to connect was easier than anticipated. So that work has come in at a total, including allowance, expenditures of $15,654.72. So for tonight's COP, the out of scope costs are the $13,943.87, which you need to approve for tonight.
Right. Does everyone have a copy of that? Can I have a motion to approve proposal number 328 in the amount of $13,943.87? Motion?
So moved.
Second? Second?
Second.
Okay. Any compensations? Any further conversations? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Looks like it's been approved. Okay, moving forward.
COP 337, this is the gypsum drywall allowance reconciliation credit of $305,821.32.
This is coming back to the town.
That's correct.
Okay. Any comments, questions anybody has? Hearing none, moving forward.
COP 338, this is a CM contingency hit, if you will. We had previously reconciled the cleaning company's bid package allowance. If we hadn't done that, then we would have pulled this from the allowance as an allowance draw, but at the end of the fax wing, we needed to re-clean some areas at a cost of $1,320. So we've taken it out of the CM contingency.
So no cost to the change order.
Correct, no GMP impact.
Any comments, questions? Okay, no need to approve of there since there's zero involved. Okay, moving on to number 3.
So that's just the water infiltration issue, which I think we previously reported. Travelers is picking up the deductible for that.
Right.
Jeff and I are both waiting for some final documentation from Travelers, but I do have an email that says they're picking that up, so they're finalizing some paperwork to take care of that with the town.
Okay.
Hey, Dick, also, we were paid off by the builder's risk policy insurer, $84,000 for the one claim that exceeded the 100,000.
We got
So that was-
84,000 out of that instead of the 100.
Yeah, that was the overage. That was a
Oh,
$184,000
sorry.
claim.
Okay. The overage part we got. Okay.
Right, and that went back into the project account.
Okay.
So you'll get the 100,000 from Travelers.
Travelers. It should come from Travelers for the other 100,000, right? Jeff?
That's what Steve's telling me. We're still waiting for
Still
documentation.
waiting. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Any other comments? Okay. Number 4.
And of course, we just have a requisition, but on my report, I don't think that's the right number.
It is not. That's why I'm.
Yeah, I never changed it. That's from last month. So that's a typo. But you
Okay.
have the requisition with the correct
We'll
number.
take care of that when we come to it. When, yep.
Yeah, Yep.
Okay. Any critical items for discussion?
that's it. That's all I have.
That's it? Any questions of Steve? Andrew?
Point of clarification on this $216,000 total magnitude for the water infiltration. So you're saying Travelers is paying $100,000 of that, and the builder's risk is paying $86,000?
Plus or minus, I
Correct.
believe it's 84,000.
84,000.
Okay.
I guess what's not clear, there was 2 claims, and I'm not sure about the second claim, whether Travelers is going to pick that up or not.
That's still open.
Okay, so we're still working on trying to get reimbursed for the total $216,000.
Yeah, that 216,000 is Downs's number. That's not the number we could reconcile. Our number's a little bit less based on the change orders. I mean, there was some miscellaneous costs in there that
Right.
just didn't make sense to try to recover.
Okay, so the 216
We're pretty close to it.
is their number,
Yes,
meaning Down's number,
That's
and
correct.
the insurance claim number is 185 or 184,000, is what you're saying?
184, and there was a second claim for, I believe, 40 or 43,000, something like that.
It was
The
43.
in excess of 216 then.
Doing the math, yeah, that
Right, that would be I think 19 or 220 or whatever.
right.
Yeah, it's in that area.
So in the end, we'll be made whole completely
We hope to.
once we get travelers' money,
That's correct.
the check from travelers. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I had one question, and
Sure.
that's COP 56, the dehumidifier purchase. I would just like to know where the dehumidifier is now.
Steve?
I would have to look into that, Andy. That, as you know, that was before my time.
That would be a great thing to have on hand in the event that we ever needed that again.
Yeah,
So
if you need it again. Right?
yep. If you could look into that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I
Jeff,
will.
wasn't that taken care of before?
Again, that was an item we wouldn't ask for reimbursement on since it's really a capital item.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe Mark had that. Andy, maybe Steve J knows where it is. Maybe it's in storage somewhere,
It might be in storage. I thought he had it.
unless
Okay.
it's in the Connex box, if there is one on site still.
We don't have a Connex there.
You
but-
don't.
But I'll start the check from my end. Maybe Andy can check on his end.
Sure.
I thought it was delivered.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
remember it being on site and chugging away, but I just don't know where it ended up afterwards.
Interesting. Steve, you'll check that out for us and get back to us as soon as possible?
Certainly.
Okay. Any other questions for Steve? Any other comments? All right, moving forward, let's move to our invoices. Our first invoice is with Jakunski Holmes. It's invoice number 21100 in the amount of $1,180. Do I hear a motion to pay that?
So moved.
So move. Second?
Second.
Second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. Next invoice is application number 25. Would be for Downs in the amount of $56,681.69. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So move. Second?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, 56,681.69 approved. Okay, the next one was with the Castle Booze. Castle Booze, you still here?
Yes.
Okay, this is, I guess it's your number 16018.04 for final payment for furnitures and furnishings to,
Yes.
who's this being paid to?
I'd have to check.
I believe it's in
don't have it.
Salco.
This is from Salco.
Is it in Salco? Okay.
Is it going to them or is it going to you?
No, those get paid. They're purchase orders that get paid from the district to Insalco directly.
So the total amount to be paid is $5,000.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the $5,000 for approval of the final payment to Insalco?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, that's it for that. Old business. Any old business? All right, new business. I'd like to talk a little bit before we get out of here. We're going to break out early tonight, but number one, the meetings that we've been having via Zoom, and we're not sure what's going on. And Jeff and we all have talked about this before as far as meeting in person at the town hall. Doesn't look like that could happen probably much before September. Jeff?
Yeah, right now it hasn't been determined, but before, I think, Memorial Day, we'll make a determination on whether what the options are.
All right, so the question is, our June 7th meeting, do we want to have it via Zoom?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
question is, are we allowed to? Because I believe
Yes.
the governor's executive orders are going to expire on the 19th of May.
Yeah, but you still can go Zoom. Zoom's going to be available.
Well, we have public meeting requirements that we'd have to abide by under the FOI laws.
Not
So I will-
really, sir. Let's back up a minute. I had just past a week ago attended a meeting with FOI for the state of Connecticut. It was serviced by the state of Connecticut, and these issues came up, and that's not a requirement. We can go via Zoom if we just make an announcement, as long as everybody has the right to go on there, and public has the right to go on. Everyone has a right to appear, so that is not a conflict with the freedom of information or public review at this point.
Okay.
Okay, and I verified that with him. And Jeff, you can verify, did I attend that meeting?
You did. I can't tell you what the determination was. I'm not really up on it, but again, I know there's going to be a meeting tomorrow. It's going to be discussed further, and like I say, we'll get something out to the PBC
Be open.
Before Memorial Day.
But even beyond that, I mean, if our committee chooses to go Zoom, we can continue the Zoom meeting at the other end if we want to. But if it's open, we can go public. So I guess we don't want to set.
Are we going to vote on that, Dick?
I guess the question is, we'd like to know how many people would prefer to stay Zoom the next meeting.
I would prefer not to.
I would prefer 2.
1, 2. I got 2 that say they wanted to.
No.
Ryan, 1, 2, no, 2. Yes.
I'm abstaining. I don't, until I get more information, I'm not going to weigh in on this.
You're not going to weigh on it. So we got 2-1 at this point. Rich, can we leave it open at this point until we see what happens with the Board of Selectmen? What they decide they're going to do? Okay. Jackie, you have any comments on that?
I don't. I heard similar to what Ryan Burns said. So I think it would be better for us to wait and see what the guidance is from the state.
Okay. All right. All right. So as far as the June 7th meeting then is sort of in limbo until we hear what the town is going to do.
I think that's right, Dick.
And then we'll get back out. And what we like to do is when we send out an email, if you people that, I know they only have a few here that are on, but we like to have people respond as to if they plan to attend or plan to attend via Zoom or via person. Please let us know so we know what we're doing. And if you're talking to Salvatore or anybody else, please let them know that it's important that they get back to us. So if you see them on the street, Lucian, you probably run into him every once in a while, do you? John?
Excuse me?
You run into John Salvatore every once in a while?
No.
No? Okay. Anyways, any other new business?
I have a question. So if we go live in person with these meetings, what are the precautions that will be taken? That's a relatively small room where we meet. And how do you maintain social distancing and all that good stuff?
That's going to be the town's going to have to tell us that, Lucian. We don't know that.
And if we allow public participation, how do we know that we'll be safe there?
That's the issue.
Will the town now check temperatures and do all that stuff for people coming
Lucian,
into the building?
That's the thing that Jackie and Jeff are going to have to bring up at the town meeting when they discuss with the Board of Selectmen what happens. And I'm sure the board is quite concerned with that room. Jackie, any comments on that? Are they concerned about that room upstairs?
I don't have anything specific to this meeting. But Lucian, I will say they have looked into a hybrid type of meeting where we could have an in-person meeting, but we can also have people log on for Zoom.
Oh.
So Jeff, have you heard that as well?
I know if we go to meetings or if we go to public places, I mean, they take temperatures. You cannot get in unless you have temperatures. You have to wear the mask. You have to have all that stuff. So
right.
Yeah, Jackie.
I'm not saying that we are not going, but we have in-person meetings. But those are the precautions that are taken by those that are organizing the meetings. So.
Jeff, you want to say something?
Yeah, just that the hybrid that Jackie was talking about has been discussed, but there's a lot of technical issues with that, in that the person or persons in the room have to be able to be seen by the whole committee, and it just creates a host of other technological issues. But hasn't been ruled out. It's being discussed, and we've been talking about it really for maybe 2 months, but it just hasn't been determined yet how we're going to proceed.
Yeah, and I guess the question that came, I just started to come up a minute ago, that if the governor releases the whole aspect of this COVID situation, meetings can be held, and that temperature taking, mask taking, all that will not take effect, Lucian, I don't think. I think that's going to be avoided.
And again, whatever the governor determines, Dick, we may go a little bit further in terms of more cautious. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily define how we're gonna
I agree.
operate.
The governor will say, we're open the door, and whatever door opens is open at that point. Ryan, you got comments? You're legal side of the fence?
No, I'm going to wait until the board weighs in and I can get some more information before I speak further.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments? Lucian, thank you. That's very important. I know it's a key issue, and Jackie, I hope you heard what Lucian said and can bring some of that up at the board meeting.
Definitely will.
Okay, any other comments?
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Any other comments from anybody?
I think my only comment would be is I think that the public, even though they can get involved as part of, well, we've seen since we started doing Zoom, there's been virtually no public input whatsoever in
Right.
any of our meetings.
Right.
And I think that, right now, people aren't really that concerned about it, but if we were to continue to Zoom only, I think you're going to find the public kind of uncomfortable with not being able to just kind of go to a meeting if they wanted to. Right now, we're kind of finishing up Henry James. We're doing roof projects, so it's not like there's a lot of contention going on or interest or even questions from the public. But as we move forward onto other projects, I think you're going to find the public, they were kind of.
Yeah, but look back over the history, Richard. We have, over the number of years, we have very, very few meetings where we had the public, the anticipation. We've had a letter or something once in a while, but we had maybe one person show up once every what, Bud?
Had a whole bunch of people show up when we were doing the Eno. They were very concerned about, the type of listening devices that were going to be available to the senior citizens. I don't think that's accurate, and we don't need to debate it. I just wanted Jackie in particular to hear the fact that, the public out there is used to having the ability to go to any planning, zoning, public building committee, board of finance meeting, and by only doing Zoom, I think you're disenfranchising the public. And that's my point. I just wanted to pass it along to Jackie while we're on the subject.
Okay, thank
I
you.
hear you, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think, we're talking about next month. We're not talking about the future.
Right.
But we all
Far and
realize
away.
at some point, the Zoom meetings will stop and we'll start to go back together. The problem we have now is that the market's coming back, things look good, but there's all kinds of issues that are going to take place. And we don't know where we're going to be come next month. I think the sensible thing to do is that if we do next month, and we'll know then probably better what the town is going to do, and we can move forward.
Any comments? But I kind of agree with you, but I think the majority at this point wants to sit down and wait until we get an impact from the Board of Selectmen as to whether we have Zoom meetings or whether we have public open meetings at the facility. So why don't we wait it out and go from there? It's going to take another meeting with the Board of Selectmen, so we'll hear from them. Any other comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Second.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much for the short meeting. Thank you for
Thanks,
doing
everyone.
what you did, and
Thank you.
we appreciate your coming, and hopefully